Hey everybody, and welcome back. This is another TTM video. We like to get autographs, TTM or through the mail. We've got 6 today, so let's jump right into it. First one's coming from West Palm Beach, Florida. Sounds like a good place to be right now. Sun and fun, and perhaps autographs. Tim Teufel. That's his own little card there. Got a whole stack of cards in here. He usually sends his own little tract, gives his story. Let's get some focus on that somewhere. There you go. Might be a little bit easier to read. You can pause it there. Got 289 Fleer for the set. Got a unique autograph, doesn't he? Twins, 84 tops. Padres, closing out his career. This is a 93 tops, a famous set that includes the Derek Jeter rookie. So 4 of 4, and he threw in 1, so 4 of 5. Pretty cool. I'll put the 89 Fleer there, that 84 tops, 2003 tops, and hold the 89 Fleer up. Learn a little bit more about Mr. Teufel. He's 61 years old, former infielder. Played 11 years in the big leagues, 83 to 93, mostly for the Mets. But as you saw there, started out with the Twins and ended his career with the Padres. But his claim to fame is with the Mets because he won a World Series ring in '86. Traded over there the year before for a guy named Billy Beane. Best known for his work building the A's and making a movie about his life called Moneyball. Tim Teufel was traded, a couple other players, for Billy Beane between the Twins and the Mets, and the next year he won a ring, splitting time with Wally Backman in the infield that year. Got that back in 12 days, no fee. Sent him 4, he sent me 5. Tim Teufel, thank you very much. Next one's coming from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Do Minnesotans ever get tired of people saying that like that? Senor Smoke, Juan Berenguer, 65-year-old right-handed pitcher. Started off as a starter, then he became a reliever. Had a rubber arm, played for 15 years from 78 to 92. I sent him 5 cards and 5 $1 bills because he charges 1 per, and he signed all 5 very neatly down there at the bottom. He's very consistent. Look at that. Some nice cards to sign. He was playing during the junk wax era, so you're always going to find cards of Senor Smoke through the mid-90s. Played for 8 teams during his career, so how many are shown here? The Braves and the Twins. Just 2 are portrayed here, but he played for 8 teams altogether. 4 years with the Tigers, where he won a World Series ring in '84. And then 4 seasons with the Twins where he won another ring in '87. So how about that? Try to stagger these so you can see the Teufels and the Berengers. Juan Berenguer. Yeah, after he retired, he continued to pitch in the semi-pro leagues. And he always played in winter ball back. He's from Panama, I believe, but he played in Dominican Republic and Venezuela in the wintertime. 13 days, and as I said, there's $1 fee for each. If you send no money, what you're going to get from him is typically a return to sender and a little handwritten note that says go through Pass Pros. So if you want to bypass Pass Pros, which is, I think, a pretty good idea, no offense to anyone, but just send him cash and with the cards, and he usually signs and returns them. 13 days. Juan Berenguer, Senor Smoke. Next up, coming from Greensboro, North Carolina. Greensboro, North Carolina. No hard card. Mr. Bryan Harvey. Got 3. 3 signed in beautiful blue with the Angels. 90 tops, 91 upper deck, and 89 tops, which that will be the feature here. We'll stagger that Bryan Harvey there. Pretty darn good relief pitcher over his time pitching which was 9 seasons from 87 to 95. Played for the Angels, and then he was traded, or maybe he became a free agent, and played for the inaugural Florida Marlins expansion team in 93, 94, 95, 2 times an All-Star. Once for these Angels and once for the Marlins. And for the Angels, he was the Rolaids Relief Man of the Year in 91. Led the league with 46 saves. Let's see, where would that be? It's not on this card, I don't believe. That should go to the 90 season. Yep. And this year he had 25 saves in back-to-back seasons, so he's preparing for that big year in 91 when he had 46 saves. And then he had 45 more in his first season with the Marlins in 93. Pretty darn good pitcher. He had a lifetime ERA of 2.49, which you don't see very much at all anymore. So that's big. Number 4, coming from Baltimore, Maryland. Hey, that's it right there. Brooks Robinson. Sent him 2. Upper Deck Classics and, the Ring of Honor. You may have seen that recently in a pack rip, junk wax rip. We've got that Ring of Honor pack. Brooks Robinson, Hall of Fame 83, 2-2, blue Sharpie. 83 years old now. He's a living legend. Third baseman for 23 seasons, all for the Baltimore Orioles. Hall of Famer, 18 times an All-Star, 16 times Gold Glover. But in addition to being a Hall of Fame player, he was a Hall of Fame TTMer for years, decades even. Signed for free a lot of the times, and then he started charging, and then people would still send for free, and he would sign for free. He's such a nice person. But his health took a turn for the worse a couple years ago, and all his autographs were taken over by a company who made their own website, and there was a huge price increase and very limited access. You know, you had to apply to send in your item, then you had to just have a little 2-week window to submit your items, and then you had to wait 6 weeks to get your return back. But you can look it up for yourself. It's brooksrobinson.com. But well, I've got a follower. I've got a subscriber, James G. Won't give his last name. I didn't really get permission to give his name, but he's a Baltimore native, and he told me that you could send, much like Mr. Berenguer there with Senor Smoke, you can bypass Pass Pros, you can bypass his website, and you still send to his home with cash that he'll sign. So I thought, what the heck, I'll try it. Did that, $5 per card, 2 cards, sent $10, and got that back in 8 days. So don't tell his handlers, they may give him a slap on the wrist, but it may be like Mr. Berenguer, the others. So a lot of times if you send to other Pass Pros folks, you can bypass Pass Pros and just pay the player directly, which is better for them, really, I think. All right, enough of that. Next one's also coming from Greensboro, North Carolina. Where was the other one? Yeah, also from Greensboro. Bryan Harvey, so I'm sure it's not Bryan Harvey again. Ooh, even better, Mr. Richard Petty, the King. Oh, I just love getting him. This is the second time I've gotten him back. Look at that blue, thin blue line. He loves using white, and I was afraid he would try to use the white on this card, but he's really a good TTMer, really does his best to try to match it up. All that white uniform, he used the blue, looks great, Those Prism cards are just gorgeous. Well, I mean, what do you say about him? He's the king, and he's named the king for a reason. He's the best NASCAR racer in history. So he raced for 35 years, 7-time Winston Cup NASCAR champ. Motorsports Hall of Fame, NASCAR Hall of Fame, Presidential Medal of Freedom. I mean, he's the greatest the sport's ever seen. And I just love getting him back because, I mean, how many times can you say you got the GOAT at a TTM? I mean, are we getting Michael Jordan in TTM? No. Are we getting Jim Brown, the GOAT football player? No. But, folks, he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT NASCAR driver of all time, and he's incredibly quick. 6 days. He's perfectly legible with a great, unique signature, and he's free. 6 days, no fee for the King of NASCAR, Richard Petty. Final one's coming from White River Junction, Vermont, and it's a large one. It's a photograph, 5x7 perhaps, maybe a 4x6. We like getting photographs back. All right. This is from, Officer Clemmons, Francois Clemmons, who played the police officer on Mr. Rogers. So cool. For such a time as this, right, guys and gals? There's no coincidence. This came at a perfect time. He's 75 years old now, and he sent his own to Michael, Officer Francois Clemmons. Talks about his work in musicals. He was a professional singer for the Pittsburgh Orchestra, the Cleveland Symphony Orchestra, Indianapolis, and a bunch of other groups. So that's cool. We'll have to read that later. Really nice. But in real life, he was a neighbor of Mr. Rogers in Pittsburgh, as well as being a star on the show. Played the same officer for 25 years, I think, 68 to 93. But Mr. Rogers taught us to love one another, regardless of race, color, creed, religion. So that's cool. We need it. We need more Mr. Rogers in our lives. I should probably put on the sweater that Tony got me. I won't sing for you, though, that's for sure. 35 days it took, but the timing's perfect. Francois Clemmons, 35 days, no fee. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you watching. As always, give me a big thumbs up if you haven't done so already. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and click that subscription rectangle right down there. Hit that notification bell. You'll be notified of all my future videos. For now, we're going to say goodbye. Tim Teufel, 12 days. Juan Berenguer, 13 days, $1 each, remember. Bryan Harvey, 15 days. Brooks Robinson, 8 days, and at least $5 per card. Richard Petty, the King, 6 days, and Francois Clemmons, 35 days. And there's a hat tip to Brandon Stebbins, who keyed me in on the address for Officer Clemmons. So maybe I'll link Brandon down below as well. Go check his channel out if you haven't done so. I'm sure you have. He does a superb job with his TTMs, and we love his daughter as well. So thanks for watching, guys and gals, and we'll see you soon.